Hi, everybody. Dan Ullman, Matt Bernier, the DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day for Thursday, May the 11th, race number 8 at Santa Anita. We're going down the hill at about 6.5 furlongs. It's an optional claiming race for fillies and mares, and let's take a peek at this field. A field of 8. Remember to head on over to the Race of the Day event page on DRF.com. Download those free Formulator past performances and handicap along with us as we take the field in post position order. Matt, the number 1 is Khaleesi, and she's 20-1 on the morning line. She's very lightly raced, but you could make the argument that she was in against slightly better in her North American debut.
You've had two next out winners come out of that spot. Anita Partner came back next out with an 85. Buyer, a horse that ran about 5th in that spot, came back to win next out with a 78. It's also kind of, I would say, premature to just completely write her off and say that on one try down the hill, she just can't pick her feet up. I have to be honest, she never looked comfortable in my opinion. She's going to need to take a step forward, but again, I think it would be silly to just totally draw a line through her.
Group 1 placed in her native Brazil. Again, 20-1 on the morning line, and she's so lightly raced a July foal. Basically a Southern Hemisphere 3-year-old still at this point, so there's a bit of upside at a price. The number 2 is Leveler, going out for a fantastic trainer in Phil D'Amato, and we have a very recent formulator fact for D'Amato. For the past 90 days, with 3-year-olds and up on turf off an extended layoff, 25% and almost a $2.50 return on investment. So Leveler obviously has been away, but she exits a race that produced 3 next out winners.
She's interesting in here, for no other reason, because of that right there with Phil D'Amato. The thing for me that's a little bit sort of nagging at me, she broke her maiden 2 starts back. She beat CC Zip. CC Zip, everyone beats CC Zip. This is not sort of a positive move for me, and I also don't know how she's going to handle going down the hill for the first time.
Yeah, you wonder if this is a start back, not the true turn back like we'll talk about a little bit later with a horse like Jeremy's Legacy, but you wonder if this is a starting off point. But you have the positive formulator fact in your corner. The 3 is Poster Girl, who took on the aforementioned Anita Partner on April the 14th. Anita Partner came back to win yet again, a 2X with an 87 Buyer speed figure. That was somewhat of a subpar effort, though, for Poster Girl. First off the short layoff, she wasn't able to back up those 283 Buyers.
I thought it was disappointing, but then you look at it a little bit more. All the horses that were up on the engine, they didn't go that fast, but they finished up the track. So I don't know if it was a combination of maybe the quality a little bit suspect and maybe the pace was a little bit faster than it looked at face value. She just needed to do much more running for me to like her.
Could Be Magic is the number 4. This horse is adding blinkers for a sharp trainer in Mark Latt and is getting the natural turn back from a mile to 6.5. My issue is she's raced with blinkers 4 times before. You could argue she moved up when they took them off.
She's the one that I really wanted to make a case for her. She's beautifully bred. She's a half to good Samaritan. We know what he's capable of doing as a 3-year-old right now for Bill Mott. I just went back and looked at the 2-turn race, said, nothing really doing there, and that was at a slow pace. I understand maybe she didn't have enough to close at, but the run 2 back, that race has come back just dreadfully weak. I think she's going to have to move up in a giant way.
The last time she raced with blinkers was her seasonal debut, and she was held up behind a slow pace, but she did finish ahead of 2 next out winners. The 5 is Warm Endowment, another horse making the 2nd start off of a very short layoff. 3rd last time out, but a filly that really needs pace up front, and I'm not sure she's going to get that blistering pace she needs.
I'm not sure she's going to get it, and if I'm taking anybody out of that race, it's the filly drawn just to the outside of her.
That's the number 6, Sturdy One, who first time off of the Jack Carava claim showed much improved early speed. That was a really great ride from an aggressive jockey in Martin Pedrosa. You could argue she stole that race. Now, do you think there's a chance that she'll get a similar situation in this spot?
I don't think she's going to be able to get out on the front, but I do like the fact that she can win if the lead is given to her. She can also win coming from well out of it. I think she works some sort of a pressing sort of position out where she's a length, 2 lengths out of it, and maybe she gets first run on the big girl.
Pika, the number 7, goes dirt to turf. She is a prior turf winner, but she hasn't raced on the surface since last May, where she took on Dudetta, a horse that came back to her second twice with Buyer speed figures in the mid-80s. Okay form on dirt, but something tells me she's better on the dirt.
The race in May of last year was, to use one of your terms, it was inoffensive. Right. It was not something that I was just disgusted by, but it also wasn't great. The run prior to that in March going down the hill, I didn't really love it. I wanted to try to make a case for this horse. I couldn't do it.
Let's take a look at our top selection for Thursday's race of the day. Matt, is it possible we've been so wrong on the 8 Jeremy's Legacy, a horse who made her North American debut in 2015? She ran so impressively that we thought she was a future stakes horse, and she was, and she's earned graded placings in stakes races. The problem is she runs the same race against Allowance Company as she does in stakes races, and she hasn't won since that North American debut.
She's one of those horses that runs to her level of competition, and I agree with you. I think there's a very real chance that we've just completely swung and missed on on her where it looked like she was going to be so good. And she's been good, but she hasn't been some sort of, real quality stakes caliber filly. Doug O'Neill, this is not a good move for him. Past 3 years, turf, first time blinkers, 1 for 28. This is not a positive. I have to be honest. If she runs the most recent race, I think Madame Stripes is very, very talented. I think Pacific Heat is very, very talented as well. If she runs that race, she's supposed to win. She's just supposed to beat these horses.
She ran an 85 buyer. She's getting the cutback, which is often beneficial on this downhill configuration. She has a nice outside post position. Madam Stripes came back to run second with an 87 buyer speed figure. It sort of verifies the 85 buyer that Jeremy's Legacy ran in that race. She's 5-2 on the morning line. How would you bet her?
I couldn't touch her anything less than that, and I think she's going to get pounded at the windows. I won't be surprised if she's 6-7-5. I wouldn't suggest anyone play her at that kind of price. And if you're playing,
the horse to beat.
She's the horse to beat. If you're playing multis, though, boy, you are very brave if you're going to stand on her, because as much as you and I think that she's just way the horse to beat, how can you trust her?
I would also have to use the 6 sturdy one in multiple race wagers for all the reasons you mentioned. Give the folks the numbers.
I'm going 8, 6, 4, and 7. If you need some sort of a stab, maybe the 4 could be magic.
8-6 for me in race number 8 at the Great Race Place on Thursday. And if you happen to be betting that card from home, DRF Bets invites you to be a VIP for a week. New subscribers can head on over to drfbets.com/VIP. You'll start with a $300 bonus and get lots of other handicapping goodies as well. Approximate post time for race number 8 at Santa Anita, your formulator race of the day for Thursday, is 4:30 Pacific time. Best of luck.